and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. Please consider subscribing and remember to click on the bell notification icon. That way you get notified every single time I upload a new video, which is at least once a week. So here on this channel, I talk about my life here in the UK. I also show you snippets regarding my work centered around healthcare, and I also talk to you about regards to the UK law and just keep you updated from time to time. Alright, so today we're talking about a very different matter, and I do not know why it is not emphasized a lot, but it is a very serious matter here in the UK, and I do not know why it is like this, but I have noticed the trend, and a lot of people just need to be a lot more aware, as a lot of immigrants are coming in and you might not be used to these things. So there is a very serious issue regarding your health in the house that you're staying, either you're staying with someone or in your own home. There is an issue of mold, and I don't know if you are currently aware that it is a problem. First things first is, when you move into a house, if you read through your contract or you read through your lease agreement, you would see that there is a clause saying that there are no mold. I know a lot of landlords, I know a lot of estate agents put that in a clause. It might be buried in the fine print, it might be written clearly for you to read. But if you do not pay attention to that, you might fall short of losing your caution deposit. That might just be very detrimental to someone who is looking forward to receiving that deposit when your lease is over. Now, a lot of them will put this thing in the clause knowing fully well that mold is a very serious issue in this UK. I don't know how many people pay attention to their homes and look out for signs of greenery or blackish or reddish growth that can start at either a damp corner of your wall, especially now when we're approaching winter and it's a lot wetter and colder and damper for a very long time. Please, there is a way to stop these things, and I'm going to be talking about a few ways you can control them and a few things that you can do to maintain your home without having to see this mold or having to have it fester or grow in your home, especially if you have small children. So Jane Eze made a video regarding this just a few days ago, and it was actually quite tragic because she made reference to the fact that a little boy lost his life because of this particular mold that was growing in the house, and the parents were oblivious to it. Alright, so this could pose as a health risk because if your home eventually gets inspected by a health practitioner and they notice that you have this thing growing in your home and you've let it fester and grow without dealing with it, it could be a problem and you could be facing jail time. So there are things to do, and one of them, which is a very cost-effective way, is to go to stores and look for mold busters in stores. You can get that at your local supermarket, you can get that at either Aldi, Asda, Tesco, Morrison's, Iceland. You get the gist. You can get that at basically any store, and you can just spray this on the affected area and top up as the need arises. You could see them growing or starting up, so you have to really pay attention to the corners of your home. The most important part of the house that really gets affected by this is the bathrooms and areas surrounding maybe your living room, the corners in the living room, especially if you are someone who doesn't put on your heater too much. You will ideally find this at the corner of a building where it's usually damp. So those areas are usually the first to get affected. So you can spray these mold boosters, but I find that the mold boosters are not as effective as this next option. Now this next option is to look for bleach. Now bleach can come in as either thin bleach or thick bleach, and you can put this in a spray bottle, mix it in equal amounts, so equal amounts of bleach, equal amounts of water in a spray bottle, and then you spray the affected area. Do not touch it, just leave it for a few minutes, and you will see that this mold will start to disappear and fade away. Eventually you see that spot whiten back up just in a few minutes. Now please, it is very important that you do not touch this, because you can spread this from one area to another, or you can have it hidden in your nails and things like that. So just spray it with the 1:1 1:1 liquid that you have in your spray bottle of bleach and water, and then spray the affected area. Leave it for a few minutes, and then you is treated, and you have to do this as often as need be. It could be every 2 weeks, it could be every week if you are let it fester for a while, and then it has spores, and then it's now starting to transfer from one area of the house to the other, to another area of the house. So you have to watch this very closely. All right, so another thing that you can do to control this is to have plants in your home that purify the air. So if you have living plants, you can also go to either B&M. I know B&M sells plants, so you can speak to someone in that department and tell them you're looking for a plant that has air purifying properties and get them. I know a good one is a spider plant. You can also go for snake plant, is a good one. Please don't be bothered about the names of this plant. They're actually quite harmless, and once you put them in affected areas, especially your bathrooms and kitchens, you'll be fine. So even though you're going for the third option, which is the plant option, and I feel like that one is for long-term maintenance and, you know, just giving your house, apart from it having the air purifying effect, it also gives it aesthetics. So instead of having something like what I have in my background here, which is a full plant and a full vine, you can have the original plant that doesn't even really require as much watering. So all the plants like this, they would help purify the air and reduce moisture in the atmosphere, so that this mold doesn't have the ability to grow as much and as rapid as it would naturally will if you didn't have these plants or spray this mold or these affected areas as often as you do. So this is something that I feel like I should bring to the community, because a lot of people do not really understand or know about them. If you're currently struggling with mold and it's starting to affect you, especially if you have children, please, this is something that you need to pay attention to. I feel like a lot of people are oblivious to it and kind of brush it off as, oh, it wasn't there before, now I've seen it. Please do not ignore it. Do not just jettison it. It could become a health risk, and it could become a health hazard. People are losing their lives to it. I remember there was a young boy who lost his life to this. He started having repetitive cough, and it just had a prolonged cold, and it lasted on for way longer than it should have. And the teachers were worried or concerned about him, and you know, they spoke to the parents, and I think the mom wasn't as quick to act, and she, every time we told her, reminded her about it, she kind of brushed it aside, and you know, she didn't really act on it. So the teachers were really concerned that this cough and cold had lasted for too long, and he started to have like respiratory problems. And you know, it was reported to the social worker, and when the social worker visited their home, I mean, the mom was arrested and the child had to go into foster care. So let's not jettison this thing. It is a really serious issue, because it could pose as a health hazard. It actually is a health hazard, because you are breathing in the spores and you don't know what it is doing to your organs and things like that. So please let us stay awake, let us stay aware of this. The large majority, and the reason why I feel like this is a very big problem here in the UK, is because of the weather. The weather is wet and it is damp constantly, so it's something that you need to get on top of as soon as possible. Please try to spread the word. I don't think enough people are acting or working towards this. I don't think people are fully aware of the dangers that this poses if you continue to ignore and, you know, not pay attention to it. So yeah, all right, so that is it for this video. I hope you are able to pick up one or two things. I'll try to insert clips and pictures so that you better understand this mold and know what to look for. I hope people will start to act on this and, you know, take this seriously, because this is really serious. All right, so if you have further questions, please do want to hit me up in the comment section. I will be there to respond. If you found this video helpful at all, give it a huge thumbs up. It does a lot to help my analytics and also get other people to see this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next one.